I did it. I pressed it.
Why am I a neck? Why am I a giraffe?
And I'm recording it on Zoom, so hopefully that works well.
We'll report you to the principal.
And then hopefully we'll get... There it is.
Yeah, I just got the notification. That's the first time I've ever got a notification for Howdy Radio. I never get it.
Your notification is incorrect, though.
Yeah, it's so
No, it's always incorrect. I don't know how to fix it until I make a video. There's nothing I can do.
If you do it through the thing that I use it with, what I stream through, you can change the name of the stream beforehand. You can also send a tweet out with the stream.
All right,
Told you that.
The tweet has been tweeted. If everybody would like to retweet it so we can get millions of viewers.
My only followers are you and Tiger Dad.
On Twitter?
On Twitter.
No, I mean, Lane, your only followers are on Twitter?
The only reason I use Twitter is for politics. So I don't use it for anything else. So it's kind of useless.
All right.
It's cool. Smoothie's AEW hat is the opposite of Dad's AEW hat.
I'm wearing my W3A hat.
What?
That's what mine says.
No, it doesn't. It says AEW. I see AEW.
Oh, do you?
It's flipped.
Mine, it's backwards to me.
How?
Not to me.
It's weird.
None of us. To him looking at himself, it's backwards.
Smoothie, if you look at yourself, is your AEW hat backwards?
Yeah, mine's normal. Yours is backwards now. I'm looking at it. Oh.
How weird.
Neither.
Wait, his is backwards on your screen?
Mine is backwards on my screen.
Wait.
Did Smoothie just say yours is backwards on his screen too?
No, it's normal now. Wait. Oh. It's tripping me out. I never actually looked at the logo that long. It's tripped me out. I'm used to the multicolor, the gold being in there. So
yeah, it is.
So it is, but the reflection's just weird.
Oh, there. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't know. It's tripping me out.
I'm definitely not using Dash's cape.
Why did you just turn your light off?
Let me try turning on this other light and see if that's better.
I definitely did it. I'm definitely not using Dash's crate as a footrest because it's in the way of the chair.
No.
Definitely not.
Not any better. Oh, that's better.
No, that was not better.
No, your hat's right. Your hat's right. Don't listen to me. Okay. Every time I keep looking at it, I keep for whatever reason seeing the E backwards.
Dad, did you put the green screen behind you?
Yes.
You look greener. I don't know.
Maybe he's just sick.
Yep.
All right, let's start.
That's the title of this episode. Dad has coronavirus.
So we want to start the episode and do the What's Up segment. Does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about in the What's Up segment before we get to the video game extravaganza?
No.
I forget how things work around here. I'm so used to saying let's do our shots, and
we're gonna have to work that in though. That's.
I have a beer. I have a shot.
I'm almost out of my G Fuel.
Yep. We will. We'll start there. Because we'll mention that that's different for this episode. If we don't have anything else to talk about, then I don't know. We'll probably find something to talk about once we start talking.
We always do. We always overthink it.
And then, do we want to cut each segment, or does Lane want to do the transition music and we just roll through the whole thing again?
I hope Lane does the transition music. That's my favorite part.
Okay.
It only happened once. Why is this everybody's favorite part?
Who's got some weird feedback going? Is that you, Liz?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't hear it, I don't think.
Say something, Liz.
I'm saying something because something's wrong with my audio.
Yeah, I hear a
It has a little bit of an echo, I
yeah.
guess.
Oh well. It won't.
What? Just like from like me talking, you can hear me upstairs.
I'm not sure where it's going. I think I hear Liz. I don't know. I'm not sure. Whatever.
It's
All
not
right,
loud
so
enough for it to matter, though. It's all good.
let's take about a 10-second pause, and then we'll start it up.
I almost fell out of the chair while I was sitting in the chair.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the Next Generation, episode 61. I'm Brandon,
I'm Lane.
and we have got Tyler back again with us,
Howdy.
and we've got Liz back again with us.
Hi.
That's 2 weeks in a row now for Liz. And then for the first time in quite a while, we got Smoothie with us here today. What's up, Smoothie?
What's crack-a-lacking?
How you doing, man?
Living large and in
Good.
charge.
Good, good, good.
Have you been on a Next Generation before?
The like second episode, I think.
Yep, I think it's episode number 2. And now you're
No,
back on.
real-
What'd you say?
A real OG.
Yep. That is true. Smoothie is a real OG.
He's even really more of an OG than you, Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay,
Mhm.
that's a good point, but still.
Smoothie has been a Howdy Inker longer than you have. How does that make you feel?
Longer than I've been alive.
Longer than you've been alive. Damn, Smoothie. Thanks for the commitment, man.
Feels good.
I don't know how you put up with these people. I can't put up with them.
Hey, they're all right. I keep them around a little longer.
Yep. So there was talks about doing a late night toast podcast tonight, and then that just kind of changed into this. So now we've got ourselves a late night Howdy Radio, the Next Generation, which is something we've never really done before. So we're going to merge the two of them together because me and Smoothie have beers to drink, so that's exciting.
And shots to do.
And shots to do. So that's
to drink and beers to drink.
Are you drinking my psychopathy, Dad?
well, we'll get to that. Do you not know how this works?
No, I've never been on an unknown pod or any of that.
All right. See, this is how it works. Smoothie, what are you drinking?
I am drinking this magical drink here. It's just Malibu rum and pineapple mango juice.
All right.
And then I have a Keystone Light for when that's done.
All right.
And then I have my Fireball shot.
All right. You are prepared.
He just puts out a 6-pack like I got this, and then for after that I got a 6-pack.
I got a Fireball shot as well, and I got a can of Mad Tree Psychopathy. Anybody else drinking? Liz, you got a drink?
No, I didn't go back down and get one. I have my empty margarita jar with my alcohol-filled berries in it right now.
All right.
I just have my 2 sips of G Fuel left. So
I
Tyler?
have water.
All right, there you go.
Good job, Tyler.
imagine drinking water.
If Scott was on the show, he'd probably still be drinking water, too.
Coffee. Doesn't he usually drink coffee too?
Was it coffee? Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Do you really
I
drink
need to be
coffee
drinking
on
this late at
water?
night.
Okay, we all talked there once. So.
Mhm. That's probably going to happen more than one time.
That's
So
fine.
before we go any further, let's take our shot of Fireball. Here's to a late night episode of Howdy Radio, the Next Generation. There you go, our first Howdy Radio, the Next Generation shot.
Then you should have taken a
Not
shot.
kidding anymore.
Making history.
We're not messing around anymore.
All right.
Now, real quick, I did want to say,
Mhm.
Oh. I didn't crack my beer yet, but I did want to say that it just dawned on me now that the whole "what are we drinking on" thing that kind of stems back to OG Howdy Ink days.
Yeah.
Worm, the "what are you drinking" thread.
The What are you drinking thread, right? And then we carried that over when we started podcasting. We're like, let's start doing that on our shows as well.
That thread was like hundreds of pages long.
Yeah.
And it literally was just, boys, if you're not sure what we're talking about on the message board, there was a thread on the message board that literally was just, you would just type in whatever you were drinking at that moment.
It was called the "What Are You Drinking" thread, made by Smoothie.
Nice.
And so it would be water, it would be Diet Coke.
Nothing.
Right. Like if people, it would go on. It went on for hundreds and hundreds of pages.
And then
you guys was this while you guys were doing it, or was it just randomly if you guys picked up a drink, you just typed in this message board?
We spent every waking moment on the message boards during those days, so we just updated what we were drinking also.
The way that the message boards worked, it was like a social media thread in that they went in the order of the last person who posted, the last person, if someone posted in it last. So like you would go through, you started at the bottom and you worked your way up from the last time that you checked.
Your way up. It started from the top and went down.
I was always the opposite.
I guess you could change it. Okay, gotcha.
Change it. And so I always started at the bottom and worked my way up. So whatever the highlighted threads were, the ones I had stuff in it that I hadn't read yet.
Gotcha.
I started at the bottom and worked my way up. So as you went along, the "What are you drinking" thread would just show up in the middle because you hadn't seen it for a little while. So then you'd read through it, you'd type in what it was, and then as you kept going, other people were doing the same thing. So then it would show up again, and so then it just kept going that way. So.
Gotcha.
And every once in a while, like the thread would die for a while, and people would forget about it, and then like after 3 months of nobody posting it at the thread, you'd go on the forum, and like that would be the top thread again, and it'd just be Smoothie saying coffee. We're like, all right, he brought it back.
And then it would start all over again.
It was probably the thread with the most pages out of anything on the board.
Alrighty.
And it was probably the only thread where we stayed on topic. You just wrote what you were drinking and then moved on. All the other ones like had a title to the thread, like someone would start something, but very rarely did it stay on whatever that title was originally. We'd be talking about randomness. Because there were so many times when you would try to go back and like I was talking to somebody about something, but then you couldn't figure out which thread it was that you were talking to them about that thing because none of the threads had anything to do with the thing that you were trying to figure out what you were talking about.
I miss the old message boards.
Yeah, right?
They were fun.
Now you're just stuck on Reddit.
No, I mean our Howdy Inc. home at this point is Discord. It's the most similar thing to an old message board really that there is right now, I think, because we have like the separate categories for music and wrestling and stuff like that. It's the closest thing that we've had to the old forum in a while.
Is that do you just guys have different text channels in your site? Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yep. It's pretty fun. I like it that way.
I love Discord. I've always loved Discord.
So let's this is our PS5 reveal episode, by the way. We're going to get there in a minute, and once we get there, that's all we're going to talk about for the rest of the episode. So it's going to be a whole lot of video game talk, of course. But before
in the last episode we say no talk about video games next episode.
Yeah, and then they revealed the PS5. So here we are.
If I remember correctly, we even said we're really going to do the one right after they reveal the PS5 and the no video game ones. We're like, oh yeah, we can do that. Here we are.
We can't do that. But before we get to the video game talk, I want to mention Smoothie's new hat that he just got in the mail that looks mighty nice.
It's feeling comfortable the more I wear it.
So I got mine. I was like, if he's wearing his, I gotta wear mine. So Smoothie's is the new one, and I kind of want that one too.
It's very stylish.
Are you going to leave the sticker on it?
No, I have to take it off. I forgot to take it off.
You can be one of
I
the
want to be
kids
cool like the kids now.
You could leave
I know, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Also,
when you bought the hat, did it have that little bit of a curve or was it flat?
It was flat for the most part.
And so you curved it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Brandon's is still kind of flat, and he wouldn't let me curve it when I bought it. And I thought it was weird because I felt like it needed to be curved. But he says the kids these days don't curve their hats anymore.
They don't. And some hats for me, I can get away with leaving it flat. And some, I guess it depends on the style of hat and if I'm wearing it backwards or not. If I'm wearing it backwards, I don't
ever wear my hat backwards, ever. I've never been a backwards hat guy.
Do you wear a backwards hat regularly?
Yeah, pretty much so.
So you're like all the cool kids.
Yes, I am. I'm the definition.
I
I am
am a
OG.
cool kid, right? I mean, did you not know this already?
He was just straight up, yep, that's me. You're right.
So have you been watching AEW pretty regularly, or?
More or less, yeah. I mean, I usually fall asleep and then forget to go back, and then Wednesday
Fall
rolls
asleep during
around.
everything. We all know that.
I know. Well, I never usually get a chance because Holly's not a big wrestling fan. Every once in a while, I can talk her into sitting and watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I watch it like the next day or whatever. So when I have time, I'm laying on the couch watching it, and then the next thing I know, it's over, and then it's the next Wednesday.
Don't let Brandon give you grief about that. He falls asleep through everything too. So
Movies.
Like recently, Dad hasn't fallen asleep during everything.
Yeah, we
like,
watched
we've
two,
watched
we watched
movies,
two
that kind of
movies.
stuff. And like, I feel like you've been like on it.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the other movie? I know Becky.
I was gonna say we watched Becky. That's all I remember.
The Beastie Boys story.
Gotcha.
And then earlier we also watched Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah,
Oh,
we fell
Dad
asleep
dozed
during-
a couple times on
No, I
that.
did not. I did not.
I felt like that was like the longest movie ever. Probably the
Got
longest.
it.
You all need headphones, and this should not be done without headphones in the future. Just saying.
Is there feedback?
Yeah, it's happening
Well,
the
I-
entire time.
Oh, is it really bad?
It's annoying the crap out of me, yes.
Sorry about that.
Well, now you brought attention to it.
I have to charge my phone, or my phone's gonna die because this thing drains your battery.
Yeah, blame Apple for the feedback.
Definitely. Smoothie, who's your current favorite AEW wrestlers at the moment?
I don't know. I like a lot of them.
Yeah, it's hard to. There's hardly any of them that you don't like, in my opinion. Really, right?
Yeah, I can. I mean, there's the ones that just straight up are, like your typical MJF. You hate them, but
Yeah, but you love to hate them.
yes, I love Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it helps with, his vlogs. And,
Do you watch the vlog on a regular basis also?
Yeah, I usually watch that weekly and Being the Elite weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Sammy's better than BTE at this point. I'm more entertained weekly by Sammy than BTE at this point.
Well, I like Sammy, and I always have Marco Stunt on there.
Mhm.
It's a good combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But everyone, I mean, I like them all. There's not really a.
Mm-hmm. It's fun watching those every week.
Yeah, for sure.
I missed the sketches though. Like when they came back to do the funeral thing, that was the most OG BTE that I have been for a hot minute.
Yeah.
'Cause most of the time it's just promoting what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They
Ever since
definitely
they got their
do
own
it.
wrestling company, the show's gone downhill a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's still very enjoyable.
It definitely
Because I hate Cody because Cody just writes himself the title. But then when he messes with Frankie Kazarian on BT,
yeah.
that's really funny. I love Cody's funny side.
It definitely reminded me of the old, not the old, but well, kind of the old, the like Joey Ryan, that era when like he got killed on BTE. That was like a year or so. That was 2 years at this point, right? Because that was around All In.
Yeah.
Man, that feels like yesterday.
That was a long time ago. Hey, well, before we get to the video game talk, we will mention that me and Tyler and Lane are going to Indianapolis a week from today to go see a wrestling show with a live audience.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it might be the first wrestling show with a live audience since this has gone down this way.
There was no, I think there was another one last weekend.
Okay.
I follow one of the Beer City Bruisers from Ring of Honor,
Mhm.
and I think they
Okay.
were pretty pumped last week. But it's
Okay.
one of the few. Like I know there's few and far between. Now, have they said anything regarding that yet, or is it still, I guess, state by state or whatever their regulations are allowing?
That's where it's at right now, state by state. In Indiana was one that I guess is allowed to do it. I know there's another one coming up the next weekend that ICW is doing, Insane Championship Wrestling. They're out of New York. They've got a show scheduled for Atlantic City, New Jersey, and it's called a hardcore drive-in that you paid for a car load, and you are supposed to sit in your car or whatever and watch the show that way. That was how they billed it originally, and they sold out all of the tickets that way. But then as stuff changed, they were then able to put on a different on sale of general admission. You're allowed to just stand there, sit there and watch, not have to be in a car, because they were able to do stuff differently since the event went on sale.
It's outdoors, so
It's
I'm pretty
outdoors.
much over it, and not in a disrespectful way.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been one to be understanding it's a real thing. I've never been on that side, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think there has to come a point in time when you have to start resuming some sort of normalcy.
Yeah. And the one that we're going to, like, you're only allowed to sit with the people that you bought tickets with, and everybody else has to be 6 feet away from you. So you've got your own little space. It's in like a little amphitheater, like 1,000-person amphitheater, outdoor amphitheater. And you just bring the one that we're going to, and you just bring your own like camping chairs to sit in for the show, and hopefully it's awesome.
And
I'm
so
excited.
Nick Cage is wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm. The only so it's a GCW event, Game Changer Wrestling, and they do a lot of really good shows. And Joey Janela is usually like their main guy, but he has not been announced for this show. They're still announcing people for it, so hopefully he'll be like a surprise announcement at the end or something, or just show up unannounced. But so hopefully he's involved. It would suck if we finally got to see a GCW show and Janela not be involved, but
So it's supposed to be super hardcore, isn't it? That's part of their.
that's mostly
There will
what
be
they
some
do
point
is
for it.
hardcore wrestling.
There will
Yeah.
also be regular matches.
There
as
will.
well. It's not only everybody dies.
But there'll be
So.
the Nick
I'm looking
Gage
forward
match
to that.
versus
Everybody
whoever
dies,
is a death match. So there'll be plenty of light tubes and blood.
Tyler, you're like Nick Cage. That man, I don't understand how he is still breathing.
It's
That man has gone through so much.
Just so you're
What did I say?
It-
I said Cage.
Whoa, what do you got going on there, Liz?
I was just readjusting. Sorry.
You trying to get the back or the screen to work a little better?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks for getting headphones.
You're welcome.
I didn't really mean like you had to go get them right now.
That's okay. I knew where they were, so I figured it'd be easier.
Cool.
Good job on him.
I still think it's the boys that are the problem. But...
You're right.
It's not my fault. Well,
It's
it is, but
whatever.
it's not.
It is your fault.
Blame Apple.
But whatever. All right. Why don't we go ahead and hit the transition music, and let's talk about the big PS5 reveal. Hopefully Smoothie is drunk enough to go on another epic rant.
Do 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 do.
All right. The PlayStation 5 reveal happened this week. What day? Thursday, just a couple days ago. And we're all big video game nerds, and Smoothie loves to get drunk and talk about video games, so that's why we had to make sure we got him on this one.
I'm not too.
Smoothie, you always like rant about how you love Nintendo, right?
Yes, I mean I do now. That song is.
So
Okay.
what we're referring to here is the most infamous episode of the Unknown podcast, where we had all drunk a lot that night. And Smoothie went on just the most epic rant about the Nintendo Switch that you could possibly ask for. So dig through the archives and check that one out if you want to. He was mad that it wasn't backwards compatible, I think was basically
What?
the gist of it, right?
More or less.
Yeah. There was more to it than that, I know, but
I mean,
There's more to that because that sounds pretty dumb.
it was the fact that I don't see why they couldn't have done that a generation before with the Wii U.
yeah.
At least give me.
I think you had just recently bought a Wii U maybe, and like you felt like super burned by buying it, or
No, I
No.
had the Wii U, but then they came out with the Switch, and they want more money out of my pocket. And
how
I
it works.
swore up and down I wasn't going to get it, but now it's probably my most played
Right.
console. Who would have thought almost 3 years later I would be 200 plus hours into Animal Crossing?
Animal
How long
Crossing
had
is
you
pretty
had
great.
the
Sad.
Wii U?
Um,
Before the Switch came out, before the epic rant about the Switch.
I think I got the year after it released.
So what was
So
the
I
time
had-
frame in between the two?
The Switch came out, what, 2017?
Oh God, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm asking you
It was
as the
Tyler-
expert.
2013, I think, is when,
Yeah.
around when it came out. Or 2012, I think, is when it came out, this Wii U, and I think I got it like 2013. So I have 4
So
years.
it wasn't so much that they like put it out back to back, as much as you bought one and then they put out the other one, and that's what you were pissed about.
They did a poor job. It's, I mean, it's very known and documented. One, promoting the Wii U. Everybody just thought it was an attachment for the Wii. Nobody
Right.
recognized it was a real thing. But here you have this gamepad, which was underutilized, and it was nice to be able to play off screen or whatever, but it wasn't. You had to be very close to the thing. You
Yeah.
couldn't go too far, and because of my gaming habits, sometimes I need to be more portable with it. And
It needs to reach to the bathroom, is what you mean. Did
Yeah.
the Wii U not reach to the bathroom?
in our old place, it did, because we had a bathroom downstairs, which was only a few feet from the where it was set up, so I could get away with playing a game in there. But here was, I would walk to my dining room, and it would be done. So I was angry at that, and that because they didn't keep up with the support, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're back with third-party support, and all these companies are on. It's like, oh, thanks, jerks.
That was it in a nutshell, but it was like an hour and a half long.
Of that. Okay. All right.
And then I know I did get into the Vita, and
Mhm.
that tied it into it, because that should have been more compatible, more PlayStation 3 like.
But did you talk about the Zune? That's what I need to know.
I did not. They need to
Okay.
bring that back, though. I've watched a few videos on that recently. Really,
Because that's the smoothie rants that I remember. Are
I miss my Zune.
the Zune rants.
My Zune died back a couple years ago, and I was sad
Oh.
when it went. But
You mean they didn't keep it around? Like you couldn't get a new one?
I could if I searched high and low, and they used to like mod them so you can have like bigger hard drives in there. But
Nice.
now my phone does all that, and I can keep
Right.
it in the car, so it doesn't-
There's no point to it at this point.
I have all my music with me. So yeah, it's no. Rest in peace, Zune.
So
Let's get
so
the game.
The PlayStation 5 was revealed this week on Thursday. Let's start off first and foremost by just talking about the look of it, the design. That's what I think everybody was waiting for, was to really see what it looked like, and we finally got that. Finally, what's everybody's impression of the look of it?
I personally love it. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's
That looks
super
cool.
cool.
I guess especially compared to the generation it's competing against, which is the mini fridge of the new Xbox. I like the white contrast. It looks cool.
Yeah,
It looks like a router.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Is it looks like a Wi-Fi
Mhm.
router, and it really does.
I'll take a Wi-Fi router over a mini fridge, though.
Yeah.
Smooth.
I like the color. I do like the white and black. It's strange looking, but it's not all that bad. Like when I heard people, even when they were talking about like the Xbox Series X plus 7, whatever, how many X's we're going to throw into the
Mm-hmm.
new Xbox name, it plays games. It does what it needs to do ultimately. But I like the design. It's strange, but the black and white contrast, I really do like that.
Liz.
So this is such a weird episode for me to be
Yeah,
a part
Liz is
of.
joining us on the all video game episode, and she don't give
It's just-
a crap about video games. But we're trying to get a bunch of people to join in on this episode, so I was like, you might as well join in with us.
No,
So.
so I will look at it on the other side, because I'm thinking about like the decor that will go with, and like how that room is set, and like how everything is set up down
Mhm.
there, and there's nowhere for it to go.
Right.
It's too big. it stands out crazy in
Mhm.
those situations. And in an adult setting, I don't know that it works in a, like, if it's in, I mean, even that room down there, it's a gaming room, but like we have a decent piece of furniture down there that houses all of those things. It's not going to
Still a
fit in
gaming
there.
room, though.
Yes, but it's not. It's not a bachelor pad. It's a. You know what I'm saying? And so, like,
Kind of
I
bachelor
can.
padish.
Did you want my opinion, or did you just want to tell me yours? Because I thought we were talking about both.
Yeah.
Regardless, first of all, you're not a bachelor. You've been married almost 20 years. Nice try, but no. So
I'm just saying that the look of it is kind of bachelor padish. Like there's not much going on other than the TV, video games, and couch and beanbag
Yes.
chair.
but the
Giant, oversized beanbag chair that takes up the whole middle of the room. Kind of bachelor padish.
okay, moving on. Go on.
But I do 100% agree with what you're saying.
Really? Because it sure didn't sound just
No, okay, hold on.
like you 100% agreed with what I was saying.
With one of the points that you were making about it not fitting. So I saw a picture that IGN posted today. There was a size comparison between like the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, like standing up side by side next to each other. And there is a whole lot more height on the PlayStation 5 than the PlayStation 4. So my PlayStation 4 lives side to side, and that's how I want my PlayStation 5 to live. Also, my TV stand has 3 slots for video game consoles. In my opinion, that's what they're for. And I don't think that the PlayStation 5 is going to fit into one of those slots because as of right now, what's in there only has a little bit of room on each side, and I don't know that that's going to be a big enough space to house a PS5 going side to side. So therefore, I might have to put it up and down, and I'm not sure where that will go.
I'd say like on the side by the TV, like up top.
That's what I was thinking. You just
So-
shift the TV over. I think it'll fit on top of the stand. That way you still get
But
side by
the
side.
TV, doesn't the TV reach like corner side to side of the TV stand already?
Not fully. Like it definitely has like a couple inches that you could move it.
So you want me to have my TV not centered on the TV stand and
Well,
move
couldn't
it to
you
the
put it-
side?
Couldn't you put it behind if you're standing it up on the top? See,
Mhm.
this goes back to kind of a Wii U and Switch thing. Mine both reside actually behind my
That's what
TV.
I
Like-
had thought that too.
You know, so you could put it in on the side. You don't really need to have it.
But then you can't see it.
Then you can't see it. I agree with that too.
That's
So I think for me,
I'm not
it's
trying to hide it.
what's
Mhm.
going to happen is, I think if we're being real about what's going to happen, I already have to buy a new TV to go down there to go along with the PS5,
True.
which means I'm also going to have to buy a new piece of furniture to go down there as well. And that's
No, I love
irritating.
our TV stand. I love
Yes, but
our
if it
TV
doesn't
stand.
fit, it doesn't fit. We have to find one like that that's big enough for this big, stupid new thing.
Yes, the new TV is a for sure thing. Are you already 4K compatible and everything, Smoothie? Are you good to go there?
I just our TV in our bedroom died about a month or two ago, and I had just got the one in the living room only 2 years ago. So I moved that one upstairs and went out and got a 4K Roku 55-inch TV. So that's
Cool. So we have a 4K in our living room, but our gaming TV is still just a 1080p because I don't have a PlayStation Pro or an Xbox Pro, so I've never really needed the 4K down there yet. But we knew that coming into this generation of consoles that it would be time to upgrade the TV. So, but yeah, the PlayStation 5 fitting into the TV stand is a worry of mine.
and that's
I
what
don't think that the color is though.
Oh, and hold on, and
And Mom was
also I
saying-
want to make the comparison to also, I don't think the Xbox, whatever the new Xbox is going to fit anywhere either. I don't know where that would go because that's definitely not fitting into a sideways slot like that because it's
Mhm.
a stand-up box.
Yeah.
They're really screwing up people's entertainment systems, I think.
But
right?
think about it, Ted. They can't make it any smaller. There's like fans inside of that thing. They
That's
can't
true.
make it the size of a Switch. Like
You can't
that's
deliver
not,
the next generation of consoles and keep it the same size
They
as
can't
the
have
old generation.
SSD. They can't have an SSD and fans and everything in there and make it small. It's not possible.
Yeah, I understand that.
I mean,
Like
technically,
sorry,
they-
you got.
they could make it small because obviously they're going to within a year or two
Mhm.
Yeah,
release of it. We know that's
not
inevitable.
too small, I don't think.
But if they go with the Xbox or the Microsoft model of external power supply, that's how they could clearly make it smaller because they wouldn't have the power crammed in there and they less need for.
Is the power crammed into both of these?
I'm assuming it's the power is going to be in there. It's just going to be normal plug. I don't know. Xbox or Microsoft likes their power,
Yeah,
brick,
for sure.
so I can imagine that being.
So you're saying that they'll release a slim version with the power on the outside, like the Xbox did?
Not necessarily, but I think they're going to shrink it. I mean,
Just a slimmer version in
you
general.
look at
Yeah,
it's never. That's just the way it.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah.
that's how it's been.
They've been doing it since the PS2. That was
They
the
say
fat
Right,
PS2,
technology-
and then the slim PS2,
They
and
say
then
the
the
technology
PS3.
changes that much, but they know they can get that much more.
Yeah, it's just
money.
a re-release of the console. We'll get a ton of re-releases of these consoles over the next few years. There will be lots of different versions. It won't
But man-
this won't last you 8 years, that's for sure.
I can't wait for the freaking PS5 Pro or whatever. That thing's gonna be a beast.
You're already, I can't wait for the PS5 Pro.
Well, this thing's
My
gonna
goodness.
this thing's gonna be awesome. But think about like how awesome this thing is, and think about what the Pro version would be like.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So as far as
One
the
thing I will
look,
say though is usually I don't like variants, but it is cool that there is a digital and a disc version.
that's where I was
For
getting
people
ready
who
to go
don't really
next.
care enough to keep the discs around, have a little bit more storage, and have just no disc slot at all.
No more storage. It's an 885 gig drive, regardless of whether or not you have the optical drive or not.
Gotcha. I think me
But
and
will
my
it
make
friends
it
were thinking
smaller?
That it would be cool if you got more storage for losing the disc thing.
No, you'll save on price. There'll be a price difference between the two, I'm sure. They haven't said that yet, but there will be.
500 and 400.
What?
I'm guessing it'll be 500 and 400. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's kind of ballsy for them to say that an optical drive cost $100, though, right? But I mean, that
You'd
kind
probably
of
go 500 to 450 maybe.
yeah, that's hard
maybe.
to say. I'm not sure exactly what to expect on that.
I would think it would have to be. I've heard that like the $50 difference and the $100 difference already in speculation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would have to be more than 50 for people to care. You know,
Yeah.
because
If it's only 450, then I feel like it's just like I would rather pay an extra $50 to have the disk drive than not have it. I
So,
feel like if
are we
you're actually,
all-
I feel like people think they're actually saving money if it's more than that amount of money.
Are we all in agreement that everybody here wants to have the disc version?
I mean, it'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
I would. This would be nice to have, but I would be okay with the
Yeah.
all digital because that's the way I've been. I haven't bought a physical game in over a year.
Okay, that
and I-
surprises me because you have just a fantastic media collection of multiple different formats. So I'm surprised that you are not one that is like me that still prefers to buy physical games because I like to take up space on shelves with video games.
I guess it's a convenience thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like having to worry about switching a disc or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'd rather, and since I've had my PlayStation 4, PlayStation has great sales.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always, I can wait a year to not play like God of War and get the digital one for $9.99.
Mm-hmm.
When they're having these sales. Same thing with the Xbox. I mean, like I have Game Pass. I don't take nearly as much advantage of it as I should, but I mean, there's really not a need for me to. Most games hit the Game Pass at some point in time.
So, I think one of my main things that I kind of just thought about is, I feel like the digital version is a little bit more of a cash grab, because they're gonna be like, oh, you can only have it digital, so you have to buy stuff on the PlayStation Store, and every game on there is $60, and all like the big titles never go on sale, so you can't go to GameStop and buy God of War for $10.
I disagree with you. I think there's better deals to be had digitally than to walk into GameStop.
But still, there's only like 15%, which is like $45 when you could get it somewhere else with a disc.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, of course, PlayStation wants you to buy them from them. When you buy a used game from GameStop, PlayStation doesn't make any money on that again. They've already made that money originally. And so there's not that sharing type situation. Yeah. But the reality is the digital is where we're going anyway. And you have to have, even if you have the digital, or even if you have the physical game, think about every time you go to buy a physical game, you have to put it in the system and let it load all the digital updates that have happened since that disc was burnt a year and a half ago before they put it all out to do what they needed to do. And you're using that space anyway on the hard drive. So what is the point of that physical disc that was burnt 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I mean, God, we have some downstairs that were burnt 15 years ago that are still sitting on a shelf. And with the availability, it's very strange to me. I'll be the first to say it's very strange to me that with all of the digital that you all do in other places, how stuck you are on the physical media when it comes to consoles. Because in nowhere else in your life are you stuck on physical media. Nowhere else, but just in this spot. So I guess I don't get it. I don't know what the connection is.
I got a really big shelf of records over here that says...
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
You just got told, Mom. You just got shut down.
Well, no, but I think she's saying, like, you don't put in a disc of World of Warcraft. You just download that on your computer, and your computer is digital.
Yeah. And
I don't think you'll ever put a disc in that disc drive.
We're on Windows 98 when we don't have...
I think more people will probably want the discless version than the one with the disc. I think more people are ready to be all digital at this point. I think I'm not the norm.
I'm in the same boat as Smoothie. Like the top five games that I play on the PlayStation are all digital anyways.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you. My 360 disc collection is insane, and I'd love to do that again with the PS5. But realistically, like, I don't know why you would. If it's so much more convenient to just have it digital.
So there's also...
And also, from a symmetrical side, the thing without the disk drive looks really nice and even on both sides.
Exactly.
I know it doesn't really matter. I appreciate that.
I 100% agree that the one without the disc tray looks way, way considerably better than the one that does have the disc drive.
It looks like they just kind of threw the console on top of itself again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was my thought process earlier. It was like, okay, so maybe it is finally time for me to just say, forget the physical, because this one is A, going to be cheaper, and B, look better. So that's something to think about, I guess.
But I think one of the main things that I've always had a problem with all digital is just the whole, if one thing gets compromised, then everything gets compromised. Like, just with, like, hacks and that kind of stuff, just overall, I feel like if everything is all digital, then there's no way to, like, and, like, do you get what I mean?
Not exactly.
No, not really? Okay. But, like...
But I think...
Like,
so are you saying, like, if the hard drive crashes, then you lose everything? Is that what you're concerned about?
Well, no, because I've realized that it all shows on your profile, so you don't got to worry about that.
Because game saves will do the same thing if that's the case. Yeah. So
But I think the main thing I've just always had a problem with is, especially with like linking and like Google accounts, like everything to a Google account. Like I've never liked that, because if one thing gets compromised, then everything is compromised. So I don't know. That's why I don't like all digital kind of stuff. That's why I like having like a physical.
There's also the like me and Taggart, like on a regular basis, still let each other borrow PS4 games and Switch games, and like that we do that pretty often, and that's not an option for digital either.
I'm almost positive there's a game share thing that happens on Xbox. I feel like me and Kevin have yet to fully figure it out.
PlayStation,
but I wish they would do that more often, or at least for maybe that's something you get exclusively with their digital thing. Is anyone who you're friends with maybe throw there's like a trade thing where you hand GTA 5 for a week and they hand you this for a week, and then everything goes back to normal.
Gotcha. I had that idea years ago, like that there needed to be a way to where you could let people borrow games digitally, and like while you're letting the person borrow it, then you can't play it because they have it. So you're saying that is a thing?
It's not necessarily exactly like that, but there's almost a way to do it on Xbox. I feel like, because Kevin has I put my profile on his Xbox, and sometimes because of that, he's able to download Fibbage. Like he has Fibbage because I had it.
Yeah.
But there's almost a way to do it, but it also requires me not to touch my Xbox for him to do it.
Okay, well that doesn't count whatsoever.
Yeah. No, it's weird.
It's just sharing your profile with somebody.
But even if they're concerned about not making money off of it, just do a $5 a month subscription to trade games, like PS Trade. Boom, call it that, and then $5 a month. That's another subscription you add to your list, and you play other people's games.
Yeah, that would be nice if there was a way to kind of share digitally.
But I think at the same point as a few years ago, that would have been great to have something like that, because if you didn't want to spend all this money. But now with both the Game Pass and even PS Now, you have access to these libraries where you're paying $20 a month or $15 a month, and you can play these games that you normally wouldn't have bought, just to try out. Or
I hope with the PS5 that they kind of improve on PS Now and can kind of more so compete with the Game Pass, because the Xbox Game Pass is a million times better than PlayStation Now.
It's for the value. It's because you're combining your
Xbox Live
and everything, and I don't mind paying $15 a month for it, as opposed to $60 1 year for a year and having to worry about that renewing. It's coming out, but I'm getting the bonus of all these additional games, and still getting, especially with the gold, you still get the free games too that you can keep, that are yours so long as you have it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
games.
Yeah, let's move into games here a little bit. We've talked about what the console looks like. What about controller, real quick, before we go to games? I like the look of the controller, but it looks like it's a little bit more Xbox-ish than PlayStation-ish in the design of it. It seems like that's what most people's complaint about it is. And I've always liked the PlayStation controller more than the Xbox controller, so hopefully it still feels like a PlayStation controller.
To me, it looked more like, I have to look at it again probably, but not necessarily an Xbox controller, but more like the original design of the PS3 controller. More that it's more rounded, I guess. Which is, that is how Xbox controllers typically are. But that's what when I saw it at first, I was like, oh, they're kind of going back to that.
Yeah, and the white and the black is all right, but you know that there's going to be a million different color schemes that ends up coming out with that, and there's potential for them to look really cool. So
yeah.
All right, so that's a controller. All right, let's talk about games. Somebody what was your favorite game that they showed out of everything? What is the one that you're looking forward to the most?
Spider-Man.
Say it again.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
What's that?
So Miles Morales is like one of the kids, like one of the other Spider-Men. So like really exciting, and that's a launch title. So I'm beginning that day one for sure.
That's a really good launch title for PlayStation. I mean, everybody absolutely loved the first.
I literally have Spider-Man right next to me, the first one. So that's how I'm pulling up my phone.
Did they say launch title? I don't know that. I'm not questioning you. I just didn't see that.
They didn't say that on the PlayStation thing, but Insomniac posted on Twitter that it will be a launch title. Cool. So,
Smoothie, anything in particular that was your like main one that you liked?
I didn't watch any of their presentation, but I watched people kind of recap it, certain YouTubers and everything, and nothing really. Nothing. Let's put it this way: nothing really not stood out to me. There was great games and everything, but knowing my back catalog of games and stuff, there's nothing that moves me to need that to need the PlayStation 5. The games that I don't even remember what games he was talking about. I know I'd be curious to see. I haven't played Resident Evil 7 yet, but Resident Evil 8.
I didn't watch anything on that. Did that look good?
It's called Village. That's like its subtitle. It looks all right.
Yeah. The thought of the game, like the story, I guess, seems really cool, and like the setting that it's in seems like you could do a lot with it. But we only got 5 seconds of actual gameplay, or like a cutscene or whatever. Everything also just like showing like the area and showing like the people and stuff. So
it was one of those, we have a concept of a game, but we have no game ready right now.
Yeah.
So here's just a title.
Yeah, I got you. Liz, what was yours?
It's supposed to come out 2021, so it's irrelevant.
Liz, was there anything, because you watched the little video thing with the...
I think that the thing that stood out to me the most, so there was a couple of them, but one that really, that made me feel like Smoothie said, there wasn't anything that made me feel like I have to have a PS5. Like, there was a lot of games that we've seen before or whatever, but...
Because you're not a gamer.
One of the ones that stood out to me was the Ratchet and Clank game. Because one of the things they talked about with the Ratchet and Clank game is the way that you moved through the worlds. Like you could see, have you watched I know the boys watched it with me, but have either of you watched the video that they put together for Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, I watched it earlier today.
I watched the one guy I was watching. He had like a little bit of it in there, but it looked,
okay.
I did like that.
So like you could see, like if they jumped off of something and then like a portal opens and then they like fall into the portal, and when they come out of the other side of the portal, they're in the next world or the next level.
A whole new world that populates in that amount of time.
Yes. So it's almost like that fall is like a load screen. And so, but it doesn't feel like a load screen. It just feels like it's kind of more fluid as you go through. So I like
impressive.
Yeah, I like the idea that could be the future of what it looks like. Not like, okay, you open this door and now you have a load screen and then you have the next room that you're walking into or whatever. So
I like that.
It was kind of just like a fluid way to get through.
Yeah, I liked that because it scared me when they originally said, we're extincting load times. Because I was like, the first thing I thought of was like, in Spider-Man, one of my favorite parts of Spider-Man are the loads when like he's on the subway with fast traveling. There's like a little picture of him doing something on the subway. I always really enjoyed that. So I was worried that it was going to be like, we're completely extincting all of this kind of stuff. So I didn't want it to. I like it being like that because I think it's super cool that there's no load time. Right? But some of the best things are the little tidbits that they can put in the load times. So And also, that's another Insomniac game, because Insomniac is amazing. That's also who makes Spider-Man, so.
But yeah, not only is it impressive, but it's also really creative, too. Not only to make it, like, basically not a loading screen, but to make it, like, fluid within your game. Like, the sole purpose of your thing is to go through rifts in time, and then your loading screen is the rift in time. Is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah.
And there's no, like, little loading wheel either. It's just a straight into it.
And it doesn't say press A to jump, because you're definitely not on level 37 and you still don't know how to jump. Never understood why tips don't just like expand as you play the game. Like you're about to be the final boss of the game and then you die and it's like, yeah, press L2 to zoom in. I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks.
We just got a Discord notification.
Yep. All right. God is currently frozen, though. What does that mean? Vid is currently frozen. Apparently our video is currently frozen. That's what Kyle just said about our video that he's trying to watch. Hey, Kyle, thanks for
Open back up. Do you have the OBS and minimized?
Yeah.
That's probably the problem.
I have to have it minimized because I have to have Zoom full screen.
Can't you tab in Zoom, though?
I don't know.
Well,
I'll just try to tab between the two of them real quick here and see if that helps anything.
Maybe maximize OBS and then like press the Windows button.
Yep.
And then go over to Zoom.
He's actually watching us this late.
Kyle works crazy third shift hours now, so he's at work watching us. He wasn't able to join because he was at work.
All right.
He is out there making Fago for all the juggalos and juggalettes out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty amazing that he does that.
Yep, it really is. That and LaCroix.
Aw, that's disappointing.
He's like, I gotta taste LaCroix like once every half hour.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I think so too. He thinks so too.
Okay, well, but that sucks that he has to do it if he thinks it's gross and that he thinks that he has to do it every half hour.
Yeah.
Yep. So Ratchet and Clank was a good one. Spider-Man, definitely a good one. I really liked that Oddworld was a part of it. Oddworld is a franchise I've liked for a long time, so I'm glad that they've got a game coming out, which is still yet again another remake of the first game yet again, but in a kind of different kind of way this time. So, and Gran Turismo 7 was one that I liked the look of as well, because the last Gran Turismo, it was not Gran Turismo 6, it was Gran Turismo Sport or something like that.
Yeah, it was weird.
But
I thought the new Gran Turismo, the map looked so similar to the old one, so I felt like maybe we were going back in that direction.
And it said like Gran Turismo is back, so
yeah,
like they changed a lot. Mostly everything was focused on online on the last game, and this game looks to be just like a regular good old fashioned Gran Turismo. So
and I think that's the perk to the console, saying that they're going to be a single player console as well. They're going to bring justice back to all the games that they tried to force to be online.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're definitely at a point in time in gaming where they're realizing that people did not want them to get rid of all of the single-player campaigns.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about the Gran Turismo video was that they never showed third-person driving. Like, we were watching, and we were like, okay, now switch it to third person. No one drives like this. Okay, switch it to third person. No one drives like this.
I was going to say, is it just our house that drives in third person? Because, like, GTA, I also don't drive first person. Like,
do you drive, like if you're doing a racing game, Smoothie, when you're doing a racing game, do you go third person or first person?
What would first person be considered in racing?
First person is like in the cockpit. All you see is out the windshield.
No, I need to see the car. I need to see.
That's how all the racing happens here too. So, so in the video of Gran Turismo, they only showed the first person, him in the car. And one of the things I've always liked about Gran Turismo, and this is me as a co-pilot, because I don't actually play the game. I just watch the game being played. But I like to be able to see everything that's going on around as well. Like, that's one of the good things about Gran Turismo, is that the landscapes are always cool to look at. And so third person, I was hoping they would switch to third person so that we could see some of that, but they didn't. It was just all first person.
And you'd think they want to like flex how good the console looks. Like you'd think they want you to see how good everything visually is.
I still thought personally it looked really good, even though
it did for sure. I'm not disagreeing with that. I was just hoping that they would switch it to the game mode I was used to seeing, so that I could see what that looked like as well.
Yeah. For sure.
That one, because they didn't give a time frame of when that one comes out, and Gran Turismo is very notorious for taking a very, very long time to release a game that they've announced. So I'm not holding my breath for that coming out anytime soon. But PlayStation needs a good racing game. Xbox is killing them in the racing department with Forza. Gran Turismo has been terrible for a while now, and so is Need for Speed. So hopefully they can get a good racing game. I don't know. I guess it's just a genre that nobody really cares about anymore, but I do.
Yeah.
What else? Any other games that were showcased?
So
I like the Bug Snacks one.
I didn't see that one. What was that?
That one, it was beyond bizarre, but it reminded me, I think Lane said it, of like the Viva Pinata game for the 360.
Yeah, I remember that.
It had very much that feel to it. It's just a bunch of bugs going around, but they like look like food. Like there was a centipede going around, but he like was strips of bacon. And like you play as this person, and I think you like collect the bugs and you can like absorb them also. So like your character looks like some of the food because you collected those bugs. But at the very end there was a burger that just went and ate all of them and combined. So I think that like you collect them to go fight this big boss that is like the one eating all of the bugs, I think.
Yeah. There were multiple games that I liked that were just so weird that they really just piqued my interest. Like, they're obviously not going to be a game that I buy day one. But it's one of those games where it's just like, it kind of reminded me of Animal Crossing kind of game, where it's just really chill and just, you can just sit down, lay on your couch and just play. And you don't got to worry about being super interesting, make sure you can beat this boss or whatever. So that's what it reminded it to me. I didn't think I was going to play Dark Souls while I was playing it.
Yeah, and like I'm so much more of a casual gamer than I used to be. Like I'm definitely not looking to, like I don't want to go, as weird as it sounds, as a gamer, I don't want to be a part of the gaming community. Or if I did, I wish I could go back to like 2012 video games before everyone in existence wanted to be like the best in the world at it. Like I can't wait to go back to the time where like it was Black Ops 2 where everyone was bad and there was no 360 no scopes. So that the bug game definitely gave me some vibes of like,
definitely
doesn't
a lot
really matter how good you are. This is a brand new game. You can't be better at absorbing bacon than I can. So here's hoping this is a good game.
Should have played more Animal Crossing.
You gotta watch them with Animal Crossing. They're trying to one-up each other every time they go to the islands. Man, it can always be a competition.
How you doing on Animal Crossing, Smoothie? You still playing?
I am. Every day I check in, not as heavily, but
I've kind of lost steam on it a little bit.
I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll get my turnips.
I was thinking about taking the week off of turnips this week for the first time. I've got my house paid off completely, and I also paid off Tyler's house completely because I turned his house into a restaurant. So I was thinking maybe this week I'd take the week off.
We were watching wrestling, and he's just selling turnips.
I've made
on this site.
I've made at the same time of Dynamite and selling turnips.
And it's like, and it has like this loud noise every time like it's your turn, and like just we're watching wrestling and you're like ding, and it's like stop selling turnips. It's so annoying.
It always happens somehow in sync to when Sammy dies. Like Sammy's about ready to have that awful move done to him, and then just badoo, and you're just like, Dad, what are you doing?
That's because I got like 4 or 5 tabs open waiting for it to be my turn to go to somebody's island, and then it lets me know when it's my turn.
Yeah, I do that. I do that during the work day. I'll just have it set up, and
I don't even bother checking my own turnip prices. I don't care because they're not going to be 600 like somebody else's is. So
I'm assuming you have to be a 5-star super duper island or something to get those prices.
No, I got it once, like a week after we started buying turnips on the game. I had a 500 and something or another, and I have proof of it. I took a screenshot.
Every time I look, it's like 61.
Yeah. I got lucky on the one. I wish I could have let people come to my island and pay me money for it, but I didn't. And Taggart and Dave this week both had like 450 or 475 or something like that. So they did pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just taking my time with it. Like I said, my house is paid off, and I just still have to move the town hall or whatever, the main building.
Can you move that?
Yeah, I think you can move everything.
I thought the town hall was the only thing you couldn't move.
Well, let's see. Hopefully I can, because I don't like where I placed it. That's the
Same here. I know.
Then I have to redo everything. But I'm just going through. I typically what my days consist of is I come out of my house, I plant all my money trees right outside my door, shake them, get that, go coast to coast and collect all my shells, sell them, dig up my fossils.
All the normal stuff.
This is not the Animal Crossing podcast. This is the Howdy Radio podcast.
It was
I think about Animal Crossing.
It's a good game. All right, any other games that showed off that anybody wanted to bring up?
So there were a couple games. So one of them was there's a new Little Big Planet game that's coming
That was
out.
what I was gonna say. The new Little Big Planet was another one too.
That seems like a fun party game.
But it's not called Little Big Planet.
It's Sackboy.
It's called Sackboy.
It's just called Sackboy.
Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's more like a platform game, not like a build or cut whatever kind of. I think it's different than the previous entries.
how me and Tyler put it, it seems like the place that Super Mario 3D World went on the Wii U, where you could like walk across and it wasn't just the side-scrolling 2D. Which I like how Little Big Planet also you can like hop up like behind and also in front. But this was like the camera was going differently and it wasn't just a straight shot. So I like that.
Seems like they showed off a lot of good games overall,
Yeah.
right?
They definitely made up for the first meeting where they just yelled a bunch of numbers at me.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical going into that one because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not a computer guy. I don't know what RAM is. Can you please stop talking about RAM? Say something about like the UI
Talk about
or
the
something
RAM
like
and
that.
tell me how many teraflops it has. Like
So
that.
I have no interest in any of that. I was like, just give me a game to play.
I think the Xbox has more teraflops.
Okay. Next game.
I think that's it for the game. So let's just let's
I really like. No, what?
go ahead.
I was really in the middle of a sentence saying the next game, and then you interrupted me saying there was no games.
There's no games. All right, go ahead. I thought we were done with games.
So there was also the new Horizon Zero Dawn game.
It's
Which
not
I'm super
Horizon
excited.
Zero Dawn. It's Horizon something else.
It's just Horizon 2. I think it's the Forbidden West, or the I don't remember. I think that was one of the DLCs.
Forbidden something.
Yeah. And I'm there were a couple like Spider-Man and Horizon were the two games where I was literally like jumping in my seat like let's go, because those were
What
two
about
games.
the new Rocket League looking game?
I was gonna get to that. I'm literally talking about one game, and you're like, "What about this game?" But it's like there were two of those games where I was like super excited, especially because there's a Spider-Man and Horizon Zero Dawn were two games. One came out 2017, one came out 2018. So I was like, we're probably not gonna get a new sequel to these games like that quickly. So what are you doing, Dad?
Magic trick.
But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I was like jumping in my seat and everything.
Oh Lord.
And then there's also this new like Rocket League kind of type game where a lot of people are explaining it as imagine Rocket League without a ball. I think it's called Demolition All-Stars. And it's like this big like arena. Everybody's in their cars and they all have like a special power up that your car can do. And there's also like big like saws and stuff all around the arena, and it looked super cool. It reminded me of like Rocket League mixed with
and like a demolition
Twisted
derby
Metal,
mixed with Twisted Metal.
It just sounds like it's Twisted Metal.
But did you watch the video of it, babe?
It's not Twisted Metal.
No.
You have to watch it because it's different than Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal.
It gives Trials Fusion vibes, if you remember that game with like
That's
the
nothing silly.
unicorn bike.
Twisted Metal.
Was that the game where you played where you could get on the dinosaur and run?
It was the unicorn. You were a cat on top of a unicorn.
Yes.
As opposed to being
And
on
you
the
could
bikes.
flip the unicorn and it would like run into the side of a rock face or something.
Yeah, the butt.
Cool.
Can I
And
just?
also GTA is on PS5.
Yes. That's not what I was going to say. I was just going to say Liz looks like she's in the Miracles video.
You can see space all through me.
Yeah, right through your
Sorry.
mouth.
I know it was weird. Sorry. I was just playing with it.
Yeah, so GTA 5, that's not exciting, but I'm not a GTA person, but Tyler is, so he can chime in, but this game's going
I
to
feel like I'm getting so much criticism.
This game's going to span 3 generations of consoles. Make a new game.
They're in the process of making a new
They
game.
haven't said that. You don't know that.
That's not. No, they have said that. They've said
it, but
they're in the
it'll
process of it.
until the game comes out.
Okay.
At this point, GTA is just a huge cash grab. They're going to keep adding DLC.
It's not a cash grab if they give you the new game for free when you buy the console.
With 3 months, and then you have to pay $60.
No!
All right,
No!
I have 2 points. For one, all this can be said about Skyrim because you can guarantee Skyrim will also show up on PS5, and that's PS3 through PS5. Also, it's not a cash grab. They don't need the money. They're the top grossing video game of all time. They deserve a right on the new console and for it to look better while they're making a
Actually, Minecraft is.
And Lane, you are incorrect when you're talking about how the free download works. If you buy the PS5 3 months after it comes out, it doesn't automatically come with GT5. But what do you mean what?
It's within the first 3 months. If you purchase
buy
a PS5,
the console,
you are
right.
given GTA Online with purchase.
But that doesn't mean that you, at the 3 month point, you no longer have the game. It's a promotion. If you buy the PS5 within the 3 months after it comes out, you get that game with it for free.
It's just like getting the Spider-Man bundle of something. Like your console looks like Spider-Man and it comes with the game and you pay an extra $50.
But again, it's just they're gonna sell it for free, and then you're gonna play for 15 minutes and realize, oh, I can't do a lot. Let me spend $10 so I can get this pack that makes it so that I get $1 million. It's just full of microtransactions and it's so stupid.
Brandon, do you remember when Lane didn't understand microtransactions at all? And we had to have this argument with him constantly.
I guess no.
And he was always like, "No, that's not what it is. That's not." We were all like, "Microtransactions are awful. You should not stay away from them."
Yeah.
And he was all like, "Oh, but I need this Fortnite pack, and I need this Rocket League car, and this new booster that comes with it."
Yeah.
This new booster. Is it a car?
That's how you know that you got Lane. When Lane just reiterates what you said that.
Because his response is this, just that I said the wrong word, not that the entire statement was incorrect.
But on that note, though, GTA works both ways. If you'd like to have $1 bajillion in the game and buy everything, you can. If you'd like to just run around and just punch pedestrians because it's funny, you can also do that. It works both ways. It's a very
it's a pay to win
kind of gamer can play GTA, which is why I like it.
GTA is a pay to win game.
There's no winning. That's the best part of it. It's literally Minecraft as in like the sandbox kind of game. You could choose to put $1 bajillion into it and have as much money in the world.
You have these guns that are insanely powerful, and you're gonna tell me that it isn't a pay to win because you can just walk around with a huge bike that has rockets on it because you spent $25 in the game? You're gonna tell me that's not pay to win? or pay to ruin other people's experience. Just like how Battlefront 2 was.
Oh,
we
Lane's
got-
experience is ruined.
We got
Yeah,
Lane's
Lane's just upset because he hasn't gotten
rant.
there yet.
Not as good
I
as Smoothie's Epic
a
Nintendo.
couple
Right?
days ago, but I didn't play it.
I just ever like it's a love it or hate it kind of thing of it going on the PS5. But personally, because like me and Brendan, when we play, we're excited for GTA 6, but we're also slightly upset because once that comes out, all of our work into this game will basically be diminished because everyone playing this will go and play the new game.
Like every game ever.
No, but it's exciting to know that there's still a couple years that I still have with GTA 5 before the next one comes out, and that they're rewarding you for waiting for the new game because you get $1 million in game every month leading up to when it comes out on the PS5. So it's nice that they reward the players for playing throughout this whole time as well. I don't know. I have no problems with it. Rockstar works with their community really well, and I'm looking forward to the game.
It's
Well,
I hate it so much.
Well, Tyler, you can buy that game when it comes out. I'll buy it for you.
I think when you buy the console, you will buy it for me.
Yeah. I was just saying because it's free. That's
You
all.
could just
Yeah.
say thanks, Dad, and be
Yeah, I know.
grateful that he's gonna buy
It was
that
just
game.
really funny that we had just talked about told Lane like, hey, by the way, no, like it's free. Like you
That
get-
was the joke, Tyler.
Yep.
That was the joke.
So
But
talking
also,
about
Tyler
let's
will be buying it himself because he'll be at college when it comes out in 2020.
Oh, Tyler has to get his own damn PS5.
so let's move on here from the game talk and just talk the PS5 coming out here in general. Well, there's 4 of us in one house and Smoothie in another house, but who plans on buying the PS5 when it comes out, or who plans on buying a new console in general when they come out? What's your feeling on that, Smoothie? Are you ready to get the new gen? Are you holding off? What's your plan?
I'll hold off like I did every new gen since the 360. I got the PlayStation 3 after a couple years after that came out, and I got an Xbox One a couple years after that came out, and then I just got the PS4 the other year. So, and now the Switch, and I'm not having any urges to go run out.
Is it just because you don't feel like it's necessary, or is there like a strategy that you have that goes along with that?
I'd like to say strategy, but of course I'd like to make sure everything. I don't want to be an early adopter and have a red ring of death situation. I'd rather it be ironed out and everything, all those kind of bugs worked out with the system, or wait and see what comes out. But it's like I said, there's nothing. Last of Us 2 is what I was looking forward to, and that's coming out for the PlayStation 4, so I'm fine with that. And apparently, like I said, I haven't followed much even with the new Xbox console, but I guess there's not any exclusives or whatever that aren't going to be able to be played on the Xbox One right away. Most things are going to be, you could play it, better experience on the new console, but you still can play it on the current gen system. So there's nothing's drawing me to go out. And the biggest thing of that is because I have such a huge back catalog going all the way back to 360 and PlayStation 3. And now with the Switch, and like I said, that's what I play the most nowadays because it's convenient. I don't have to wait for the TV to sit and play. I can bring it down here and play while I'm working, from home. And
Do you mostly play your Switch on a TV or a handheld?
handheld
Yeah, me
mostly.
too. Mine's like 99% of the time handheld.
I can't do that. It messes with my head. I don't know why. I'm so used to like just holding a controller and that just being what is happening. I guess it's because my hands are so far away from each other. Maybe
Yeah, that's
these are very gamer problems, but like it's not like close enough to the point where I can. It's not a controller, if that makes sense.
it's
Like if I put Joy-Cons on both sides of this iPad, it would feel so weird to play the game looking forward, but not on a controller.
No,
Yeah, it's a buzzword problem.
but well, that makes sense though. I mean, I get that, but for me, the reason I enjoy it is I like the thought, and that's why like I had no problem spending $50 on the BioShock collection, even though I bought it for like 10 on the PS4, and I think I may even have. I don't think I have it for the Xbox One, but I like the fact of playing these games portable. It's kind of like still the same thrill, even equating it to like. It still amazes me all these years later, being able to fire up the Switch and here I'm playing Super Mario Brothers, like not on a little 13-inch color TV,
Yeah,
5 feet away. So it's
Yeah, definitely.
that nice experience for me. So that's why
I like the handheld.
I do like that. And then I like playing, and I like the way I can just make that seamless switch, no pun intended, to.
I see what you did there.
So if I'm coming out of my gaming room throne, I can just, and I do want to play on the TV, and just drop it in and
Your
pick up
bathroom is your gaming room. Is that what you're just alluding to there?
my gaming throne. Yes.
Gaming throne. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're planning on getting the PS5 at launch. I haven't bought a launch console. I don't think since the PS2. I think was the last time.
Which would be since we had kids.
That was in the year 2000.
So since we've had kids.
Didn't you buy the Xbox 360 launch?
Mm-mm. It was just a month or two afterwards, but it wasn't at launch.
Because didn't we decide it launched like right around the time Lane was born, and we didn't get it till we came back?
And we got it in like February or something.
Yeah, it was like when we came back to when we moved.
Yeah, that makes sense because
home.
like I kind of ruined everything those couple months.
At least you've ruined everything.
Yeah, not just let's go months, like past,
just in general,
years.
last decade or so.
And so the last generation, we bought the Xbox first, and then later on down the line, bought the PS4. So I figured this generation, we just do it opposite and do the PlayStation first, and then pick up an Xbox.
But even still, we didn't buy the Xbox until the smaller version came out, did we?
No, there wasn't a smaller version until like we got it 2016. The console came out 2013, and the Xbox One S came out 2017. We don't have a smaller version. We have the original for the Xbox One.
The Xbox One was out for 2 years before we bought it?
3. We got it 2016. It came out 2013.
Gotcha.
I say we go with that strategy again.
Nah, we're gonna.
No way that you're gonna convince me that I'm not playing Spider-Man the day that console comes.
You know how I convince you? Tell you that you have to pay for it, and then see how quickly you'll be convinced.
Is the Spider-Man
wait,
game
I can only pay for the game, not the console.
PS5? Is the Spider-Man game not going to be on the PS4?
I think it is a PS5 exclusive. I'm almost certain. Which I really hope it is, because I want to play on PS5.
That's a fair point, though, because isn't it when you can do both consoles, that means your PS5 version of it isn't
it won't be
max
as good
potential, right? Because
because it had to be
for it to exist on the other as well, right?
Pretty much.
So that would make sense, because I think Spider-Man visually looks really, really nice, so it would
and
do
it
a
was the thing
disservice
that
to give a
they
sequel to that game.
That was the first thing they showed.
yeah, that was the first thing they showed. I think it's probably exclusive.
No.
Man, I'm excited for that.
I think the only thing that'll make me want to buy the new Xbox is when they can get a new Halo game that makes sense. Because
the Halo game looks amazing.
Who wants to play Halo still?
I've never cared about the Call of Duty campaigns and everything, but I've played through all the Halo games. And then they gave Halo 5 when they were like, online's the way to go, and gave no campaign to Halo 5. So, I'm looking forward to
Smoothie,
the
does that
campaign
make me
Halo
old?
6.
That I'm like, Halo should have died 20 years ago when it was originated?
People still love Halo.
I don't know. I'm still working on. That's another game that added to the catalog. I've only beat 1 and 3, so I have the Master Chief Collection. That's the Xbox One I got. So
Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
I just remember it being cool back then, but I never felt like it stood the test of time, I guess.
I don't think the newer games have gotten as good of research. I think 3 was like the pinnacle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
Reach was my favorite, which was the one following 3, preceding 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
So
what about
Played the crap
ODST?
out of some Reach. But I think in their defense, though, they don't have 3 different companies going back to back year after year. Because like there's the Black Ops game, then there's the Warfare games, then they're kind of like competing with Call of Duty basically when it comes to shooters. And they don't have like subcategories. I don't think of Halo games other than like the Wars one. That was the
Halo Wars.
RPG looking one.
But I think that Halo was. I don't know that it was ever meant to compete with the Call of Duties, was it?
I mean, it was a shooter at the same time. You'd think they tried.
But I guess I always saw them
in
as.
their defense. I guess they didn't try. I guess they
Yeah, I always just saw it as 2 different things.
Just
Yeah, I don't think they ever did.
Like I could see like Call of Duty and Rainbow Six competing. Like those are
I
the.
think now you could say that, but isn't
No,
I guess,
not now. You can't say that now. Call of Duty
as
and
opposed to
Rainbow Six
Halo, you
Siege are
could.
completely different games. Those are completely different games.
I think your mom's talking more about the old Rainbow Six, like 3.
Oh, like Vegas? Oh,
Gotcha.
Because they were the bigger.
Okay, yeah.
Because
the
that's
biggest-
who they were competing against back then. The original Call of Duties and the original Rainbow Sixers. You either had Call of Duty guys or you had Rainbow Six guys. They're and never the two shall meet. Like it was not, you couldn't do both. But all of them played Halo because Halo was different than all of that. So I
Gotcha.
don't. I
Okay.
guess I don't see them as the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they
Thank
should try
you,
and do this thing
Smoothie.
just a little bit so I can get a Halo 6.
Thank you for recognizing that I actually do know something.
What?
Well, we're talking from a certain time frame. It's different now. Like at that.
Of course,
time,
yes, they're totally different games.
Yeah,
now. The
like
whole world is
Modern Warfare
different.
and Siege are not the same game.
Right, they're totally different at this point. But back then, when it started, there was the 2 first-person shooter
It was
war
Halo.
type games.
It was Halo and Rainbow Six Vegas, and then Call of Duty came.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and
Well, Call of Duty was when the first
Before-
Call of Duty come out?
Before you
First
were
Call of Duty
born,
was
adults are talking. Shh.
I was just
first
say this
Call
is
of
not
Duty
our
was-
argument. It's not even my argument.
was an original but that was still an online game, like a PvP kind of game. But that I think
No,
I'm
the
almost
first
certain-
Call of Duty game was not an online PvP game.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Says the person who wasn't existing.
Again, you weren't
You weren't
alive.
well, I think I don't think I've ever played the original Call of Duty. I've played 2, and there is online now, which it's not good. Or at least when I was playing it, because I played them after.
The selling point of Call of Duty originally was just like Halo was like a 4-player split screen type thing.
Yeah, more so and more campaign. That's why it had
Campaign.
achievement.
And couldn't you do the 4-player split player campaign? Like, couldn't you the 4 of your friends
You
sit
could with Halo. I don't
work
remember.
together for Halo? Because
But
I
you never
remember
could with Call of Duty.
Brandon and Kyle playing Halo together
Yeah.
and
Lane and I
going
used
through
to
the
play Halo
campaign
together.
together.
Yeah, me and
Lane and
Tyler
I
used
do
to
Reach
play.
together, split screen.
We played 3 and Reach together. It was
I
a good
enjoyed that side of it. Like I don't play Call of Duty campaigns because I don't really care for them. But it's fun to be able to sit on the couch and everyone gets a controller, and then you as a unit, you beat the campaign. I guess
Yeah.
I always get bored playing video games by myself. Like I've always there's either got to be someone else in a party with me, or I need to be online playing something.
I think
I
that's
tried to play
why.
Uncharted, and Uncharted just
Kids
kind of got
these
boring because it was
days.
just me.
Right?
I think
They
that's
need-
just
it's
that.
boring.
They need
Yeah,
interaction with people.
I
think
can't play
that-
through campaigns by myself. It's boring.
All right,
That's
let's
just
start
how I feel.
wrapping up here. Lane, what are you
Okay.
trying to say?
That I think that's why I liked A Way Out a lot, is because that was together campaign, and it was supposed to be together. It wasn't just you got player 1 who can do everything himself, but then you also have this other player that you don't have to play with, but it's like a little tag along, and
Like Sonic and Tails.
So here's what I want. I want somebody to play with me. So because of the Oddworld announcement the other day, that made me all nostalgic for Oddworld. So I'm like, okay, I need to play Oddworld. Where can I play Oddworld at? And then I found on the PlayStation that there was the PS4 that there's Oddworld New and Tasty. There was like a remake of the first game that came out a few years ago, and I never did play it. So I was like, all right, well, that's what I want to play. I haven't played that one yet. So I turned it on earlier tonight, and when you start it up, it asks if you want 1 player or 2 player. And that game, like, you die a lot in that game. It's like Super Meat Boy-ish. Like, you get to a certain point, and, like, it takes you 10 times to figure out how to get past this, like, quick part of the game, so you die often. So the way the 2-player works is you have 2 controllers, and every time you die, the other person then controls the character, so you go back and forth, and I think that would be super fun. And what a creative way of doing 2-player on a single-player game.
Yeah.
So somebody should play that with me. I think that is cool.
I got you. That sounds like because I really like the way it looked, because I don't think I knew what it was when it was showing up. But as the trailer progressed, I said it looked like World of Goo.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mama made the comment that she thought that when World of Goo came out, you said it looked like Oddworld. So basically, we both enjoy the game. We've just played 2 different games that are the same aesthetic of a game, I think.
Gotcha.
I'm
always
interested in it because I played a game similar to it.
I've always had a good memory of the Oddworld franchise for the same reason of Parappa the Rapper. The first 2 games I ever remember playing with Liz on the PlayStation, like when we just first started dating in high school, was Parappa and Oddworld. So,
Gotcha.
And Parappa the Rapper is the most amazing game of all time. So
it's one of them.
Game is so stupid.
All right, real quick before we wrap this up, what's everybody's prediction on price? How much is the PS5 going to cost with a disc and without a disc? Go around the room. Everybody just say something.
I think for sure 500 for regular, and most likely 400 for digital.
Yeah, that's the camp I'm in. That seems.
Yeah.
You don't think there's a chance that it would be more than 500? Because it seems like some people are saying maybe 600.
Just too much. I think that's where, if they do go for a pro version, that's where you see the 600. Because right now, do you guys know how much the PS4 Pro was? Do we know?
400 or 500? 400, I think.
So, if it was 400, because yeah,
400. The regular PlayStation is 3 and the Pro is 4.
So that makes sense. If it's better than the Pro, of course if it's what they're saying, and it's like better than a PC in 5 years, then of course it has to be more than a Pro. It's not going to be the same price as a Pro. So
yeah.
Or I'm thinking they're going to go for marketing points, and it's going to be $475 and $425. I think the gap is 50, and I think they're going to undersell themselves, and it's going to be $475.
I don't know. You think you think the PS5 and the new Xbox will be the same price?
I think that would be smart.
Is the new Xbox $475?
No, we don't know the prices of either one of them. I'm just saying, once they come out, do you think that they will be the same price? Will one be cheaper than the other? Which one do you think would be cheaper than the other? That's just all I'm asking.
I think, going by track record, I think they're waiting for one or the other to make that first call so the other one can say, haha, we're cheaper.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, because we're pretty close to launch at this point, realistically, and we don't know a date or a price. So it does seem like somebody's waiting for the other person to make a move there.
And they got to say something now. They can't. They got to say something.
When do you get to the point where that pisses you off?
Like as a consumer, you mean?
Yeah, like knowing that it's coming out in just a couple months and that they won't tell you how much it costs.
Because the companies decide to play chicken.
Right. When I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about like when tickets go on sale, how frustrating it is to not know how much a ticket is going to cost until you're in the queue to buy the ticket to whatever event it is you're going to, and how irritating that is for us. So I guess I'm just trying to think of, when do you get to the point where you're like, okay, they have to tell me how much this costs 6 weeks in advance, or I'm not doing this with them. Like, how do you feel about that?
I honestly think there was a point in time where it mattered really, but I honestly, the way video game culture has become, especially with social media and influencers and so much publicity on it. So if you go back to like the 360 and the PlayStation 3, like people were laughing at when not laughing, they were appalled when, what was it, 500 or 600 when the PlayStation 3 came out?
I think it was 600, right? Or was it 500?
I just saw a chart earlier today that was the prices. I wish I would have saved it.
I think it was a bigger thing, but now there's more focus. Not that gaming hasn't been around or gamers have been around, but now it seems to be everybody's getting, most people I would say that you see are getting both.
Yeah.
And so you think people just know that it's going to be around $500, so nobody's pissed, because it's like if you were buying a ticket and you knew it was around $100, it didn't matter if it was 110 or
there's a difference there.
95.
Like I will know the cost of the PlayStation before I click buy, but with a ticket on Ticketmaster, you don't. So so there is a difference there.
Yes, but I think the scale is different in that sense as well, because you're talking about a $100 ticket versus a $500 console. So I feel like when you have something that's cost that much more, knowing a little bit further in advance how much it's going to be, because you have to plan for that. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not independently wealthy and I can't just pull $500 out of my ass whenever they ask me to.
I think we're at the point now where if there's somebody that's like us that is wanting to buy one of these consoles at launch, that, I mean, you basically need to have $500 sitting in your bank account ready to roll at this point. If you're trying to get one at launch, I think that's basically where we are at this point.
So I think that's what Smoothie was saying too. So basically we know it's going to be around then. So there's not as much, you don't need them to announce it, because you kind of know already where it is.
It comes
out.
out.
At the same time, it is annoying as the consumer to be like, I'd like to give you my money, so it'd be cool if you could give me the same thing back, and like, as opposed to mess with the people at the other company, just like be intimate with me and just let me know how much I'm trying to give you at the same time.
We'll still have a couple more big reveal videos. I mean, they still got to reveal what the UI looks like, and there'll be an event for that and stuff.
The fact that thing leaked, but then they didn't show that was a little weird to me.
Okay, you can say that it leaked. Somebody first Reddit a PowerPoint picture of some rectangles and said that was the UI. I thought that it was more canceled. That is not an actual leak, and somebody just wanted to say it was a leak.
You're incorrect about that, Lane. You're not spreading the correct information there. The image that Tyler is talking about is an image that came out from a patent that PlayStation filed for their UI. So it is a drawing of what the UI looks like based upon the patent that they filed, so that somebody else can't steal it. It's just a black and white little image with some circle or some squares on it, like you said. But you're incorrect about saying it's just some dude that made it up. It's a patent that.
If that was the point, then just color that blue and then just put it on your presentation. You don't know what it's going to
look like. That's not a representation of how it's going to end up looking like. You have no idea what the animation on these screens are going to look like. Nobody knows anything. That thing is completely useless.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep. So I'm still looking forward to the UI, because I think the PlayStation needs a UI overhaul. I don't want it to be exactly the same as it has been the last couple times. I'd like to see something new, maybe something familiar, but like shiny and new kind of. But I also don't want it to be like the Xbox, where they change up their dashboard every 2 months because everybody hates it always.
I'd rather consistency than spontaneous UIs, in my opinion. I'd
All
rather
I
just
want
it just
is like
function
a-
like the PS4 with the new console as opposed to parts. So your settings button is like on the complete opposite side of the screen than it was 2 weeks ago, and you're just gonna have to deal with that for another 2 weeks.
I think what I kind of want with the UI is just PS3 mixed with PS4. I liked those two, but I do want something new. So I think those two connected. Like I think the PS4 like way that everything runs with like your friends and everything, with like you hold it on a PlayStation button. I think that mixed with the like
Drop
the
down.
default folder drop downs, unlike how the PS4 is, where it's just a straight line of all the games and the apps. Because like on the PS3 there was like the games folder and the media folder that already had everything placed, and you didn't have to do that yourself. So I think it's just a little bit more organized than just what you clicked on last. So,
Or maybe even just a sort button of just you get to pick what the default is.
yeah.
Because that'd be nice too. Because I agree that
Yeah, the Xbox allows for a little bit more customization, or at least they used to. I haven't messed with the Xbox too much lately.
It's awful.
Mhm.
I went on it today, and I couldn't find the audio setting to change how loud my headphones were when they used to be this place. Now they're in this place, you have to put like 3 different things. It's so stupid.
I just like how simple PlayStation is, and especially PS4. It's all right there. And if you want to mess with settings, you go up, and then there's all of your settings.
Yep.
So maybe the simple solution is just like how most websites are, like sort by newest or oldest or A to Z, Z to A. It's just you want to sort by last thing you pressed, sort by thing you click on the most, and a way
Right,
to
let's
keep
wrap-
it so
Let's wrap
it's
this up,
uniform,
guys.
but it's your version of uniform.
Also, one of the things I really want with the PS5, besides games or UI or anything, I want a way to find out how long I've been playing a game.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no way on the PlayStation 4 to find out how long you've been playing. Not even a site or anything. Like, there's no
That's
way
true.
you can find out how long you've been playing a game.
Unless the
So-
game includes it in their save
Unless
data,
in the settings you can see that, but there is
Yeah.
no
which a lot of them do. But
PlayStation UI where you can see how long you've been playing a game.
I agree.
That's
The Xbox and the Switch both offer time, and in Steam, all of them offer how much hours you have put into a game. I agree. That should be a very basic thing that the PlayStation has.
Mhm.
All right, let's wrap it up. PlayStation 5 coming out here soon. That's cool. Lane, hit us with some transition music.
Do 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 do.
All right, that's our show, everybody. Next
Go
week, we
back.
won't talk about video games at all.
We said that last time, and then we
Yeah.
had this episode.
I'm gonna say it every week.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Liz, thanks for joining us again. That's 2 weeks in a row. I'm sorry you had to sit through an entire video game episode, but thanks for doing it. And Smoothie, good to have you back, man.
It was good to be here. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time.
Good. And Tyler, thanks for doing it again. And Lane, thanks, man. Thanks for doing all 61 of them, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, so
Sleep.
that's it. All right, thanks for watching, listening, and all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.
Boom.
All right, cool. That's
Good
it.
job, everybody.
I
Yeah.
can talk about video games for hours.
Everybody high five your screen.
It's a wrap.
Oh, that's a wrap.
Okay, Tyler, take your dog out.
Okay.
He's asleep right now, though. Dashing, you go outside? Yeah, go. Go on. Go.
You gonna go downstairs with you being
Off.
upstairs? There ain't no way that's happening. Alrighty, well, I'll see everybody
Dash.
in 10 seconds, except for Smoothie.
If you see me in 10 seconds, then I'm going to be worried.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He was outside your house the whole time.
He used the green screen so you couldn't see where he was.
Ah,
He's just been sitting in his car.
Ninja skills.
That's right.
nice.
Did
Alright,
you
Just
go to
walking
Ninja
around with that
You
mask
question
with
mark,
Mike.
question mark?
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.